Hi viewers, in this video I will show you how I fixed the electrical controls on my snowblower.
During the last winter that I used my snowblower, I noticed that once in a while, the electrical actuators that control the chute and the deflector were not functioning well or not at all. I knew that I had to fix this problem to be able to use the snowblower this coming winter. The first step to do after the oil change was to start the engine and test the electrical controls to be able to diagnose the problems. I noticed that even if there was no snow or ice on the chute mechanisms, the small electrical actuators were not functioning well or not functioning at all. But the deflector was not working as bad as the chute. I put back the snowblower in the garage and I inspected the electrical harness to find any damaged wires, but everything looked fine. The other thing to do was to check if the electrical contacts in the switches were causing the problems. The procedure was simple. I only had to flip the connectors of the two switches and see if the problems were transferred between the chute and the deflector. Back outside, I started the engine and I tested the controls again. Then the chute was able to turn easily and the deflector was not moving at all. This test was conclusive and the electrical contacts located in the switch were probably defective. Before ordering new switches, I decided to disassemble one of my old switches and check the parts to find the cause of the problems. In this view, you see that the switch cover actuator is clamped on the switch housing with small retaining clips on two opposite sides. I had to unhook these clips to be able to remove the switch cover actuator. When I opened the assembly, I was able to see the two movable contact bridges, also called poles, inside the housing. Located under the switch cover, there was a pair of compression springs used to push on the poles. When I removed these poles, I was able to see clearly that the stationary contacts in the housing were carbonized. There was also some pitting on the surface of the contacts, probably caused by small electrical arcs. The same damages were also present on the poles contacts. To solve the problems at least for some weeks, I cleaned the contacts with a rag and I roughly refurbished their corroded surface with a small flathead screwdriver. To begin the reassembling, I used tweezers to put back the poles in the housing. To make sure the poles would move properly, I used dielectric grease to reduce the friction. This was an easy solution to keep the springs in place when I was installing the cover. I was well prepared and I had no problem to reassemble the rest of the parts together. To complete the refurbishing job, I checked and repaired the other switch too. For my test, I loosely connected the switches only to see if the actuators could work properly. They worked perfectly, so later I completed the job with a permanent installation. I was lucky, I had a lot of snow to test my snowblower. Because I was able to find the cause of the problems and fix it, I was not worried about the coming snowstorms. I checked online to buy two new switches from Craftsman, but I found the price too expensive. Since the fit and functions of my switches were common, I only needed to find a D.P.D.T rocker switch with momentary on-off-on. When I was checking online, I also made sure to get the same 6-pin terminal pattern compatible with the connector's socket. Finally, I ordered new parts costing about $12 each. This was a good replacement and I saved a lot of money.